Hi everyone, I'm Tom Donnelly and welcome back to the Vinyl Hive channel. I'm back with another showcase and this time I shall be showcasing my entire collection of an artist, OMG. And that artist is the heavy metal legends that are Iron Maiden. I shall be showing you the albums I've got as well as a few singles in there as well. So I suppose we should start with their self-titled debut, Iron Maiden. This isn't the first copy I've had of this album. I did have a 1982 reissue, that was the first one in my collection. But that one has since been sold to Mr. CD Hive's dad. Shout out to you, Lee. But this and all the Iron Maiden records currently in my collection are all from the original year of release. And this one in particular, I was able to get from a Facebook group. As I prepared for this video, I realised that a lot of records in my Iron Maiden collection were from that Facebook group. The record itself is in pretty good condition considering that it's 40 years old and it actually plays well. You'll actually hear this specific record in the background. I am a fan of this album, it's a fantastic debut and the band at this point was very different compared to what it is now. Two current members have been in there since the start. One of which being legendary bassist and inspiration for me on the bass, which is Steve Harris. In this one, the lyrics are a bit more scandalous, possibly with Paul Di'Anno's influence, who is the current singer on this album, as Bruce Dickinson, who is the lead singer currently, who joined a little bit later, makes this album very different compared to subsequent releases. I do not have any singles from this album, technically, but all will be revealed towards the end. Alright, so now we move on to the next album in the series, which was the first Iron Maiden record I got, Killers. Ooh. As I said, this was the first Iron Maiden record that I got. I picked it up almost exactly a year ago when I was in my hometown of Scunthorpe, up the Iron, for Christmas. And I was in the record shop, Vinyl Jewels, and I saw it, and at the time I didn't have any metal at all really, so I just thought, you know what, might as well see what all the fuss is about, and what a decision it was. This record again is in good condition, the sound quality is good, and it's actually probably my favourite covers from Iron Maiden. I mean, might be biased because it was the first one I got, but really nice. This was the last album to feature Paul Di'Anno as lead singer, as after this he was sacked due to his issues with substance abuse. The chopping and changing of lineups starts here as Adrian Smith joins the band as a guitarist. Another tasty fact about this album is that it's the only Iron Maiden album to feature two instrumentals, one of which being Idols of March. Tasty facts are coming out of my neck as this is the shortest ever Iron Maiden song at 1 minute and 48 whole seconds. Again, no singles from that album, so we jump straight into the next one, which is one of the band's most iconic records, which is The Number of the Beast. I got this record from a very nice record store called Vinyl Groove in Haywood, north of Manchester. And again, the record itself is in great condition, with this album being the first one to feature a printed inner sleeve. Ooh! I guess most notably, this was the first Iron Maiden album to feature Bruce Dickinson as lead vocalist, and naturally it took the band to a different level. This album is very good and very favoured by Iron Maiden fans, featuring some of their most popular songs to this day, Hallowed Be Thy Name, The Number of the Beast, and tasty fact, their most streamed song on Spotify, the song Run to the Hills. I do have a single from this album, and it is a very nice one, with this single, The Number of the Beast. This one is fairly battered, as you can see, but the main attraction to this one is the fact it's on a very nice looking red vinyl. And interestingly, it was only £1.25 from Woolworths in 1983. And this was another Facebook group purchase, just so you know. Okay, moving on to the next album and the next year with this, Peace of Mind. This is another album that I had more than one copy of. My first one was a 1984 reissue, and by the same means as my debut album, I was able to get this original 1983 copy from a Facebook group. This features another lineup change, but again, a new member that has come in is someone that stayed till the present day, which is Nico McBrain. A tasty fact about this album is that it was originally going to be called Food for Thought, but during the writing stage, the band opted to change it. This album is a banger, and it again spawned some iconic Iron Maiden tracks. The Trooper, which has since been adopted as the name for Iron Maiden's own brand of beer, and Flight of Icarus, which is one of my favourite Iron Maiden songs. Speaking of which, it's another single, my only 12-inch from the band. Oh dear. This is actually a European release, which can be quite pricey, surprisingly, considering it's a 12-inch single from 1983. But luckily, I was able to get this from the exact same Facebook group. The cover on this one isn't in the best of condition, which is mainly because of the quality of the material. It's more paper than card. It's quite hard to maintain over 37 years. Okay, I'm going to take it down a little bit, as I have a somber story about a 7-inch single that has been lost to time. Viewer discretion is advised. This story may make you cry. I once had a rarish Italian 7-inch single of Flight of Icarus, but I sold it on the Vinyl Hive eBay, as it didn't really get played much. Unfortunately, the seller did not like it and returned it, and even though I sent him my address in a message, the seller just slapped the returns label on, and unfortunately, the returns label had my old uni accommodation address, which I haven't lived in for over a year. So not only did I get paid and then lose the money, I didn't even get the record back. But that is just how the mince pie crumbles. Okay, I'll give you a moment to dry your eyes after that sad story, as I present to you the next album and the latest addition to my Iron Maiden collection, their 5th studio album, Power Slave. I picked up this record again from my hometown record store, Vinyl Jewels in Scunthorpe Market, and it is in incredible condition. The outer sleeve and vinyl are both almost immaculate, so a great find for you there. This album has a few tasty facts, so tuck into these. It was the first Iron Maiden album to feature the same lineup as the previous release. It is also the last album to this day to feature an instrumental piece, and it's the only album to feature the other founding member of Iron Maiden that's still in the band today. Dave Murray has a songwriting credit. Wow, that is tasty. Again, this album features some iconic Iron Maiden songs, Ace is High and 2 Minutes to Midnight. And this album took them on one of their longest and most arduous tours they've ever been on. And this also meant that for the first time, an Iron Maiden album had a 1-year delay. But on this tour, a special release was recorded. And that special release was their first ever live album, Live After Death, or Live After Death. This copy, again, came from Vinyl Groove in Haywood for a good price. The condition of this is also pretty good. I've been fairly lucky with Iron Maiden records so far, apart from the one that was lost. This jam-packed 102 minutes and 3-second album was mainly recorded at Long Beach Arena in California, with side D being recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. This was also released on video, only featuring recordings of the Long Beach performance. And even though it was the first live album released by the band, it was not the first video released. The artwork for this one is also one of my favourites from an Iron Maiden release. And it represents my Iron Maiden collection on the display that you see there, hopefully. But live albums aren't really my cup of tea, so it doesn't get played as much as it really should do, to be fair. The album itself reached number 2 in the UK, and also had singles released from it. Oh dear. One of which is this, Running Free Live. This was another Facebook group purchase, and with my other 7-inch single, apart from the one that was lost, it has a very cool feature. This one is in fact a poster sleeve. These have been a common gimmick for a while. I have another one in the collection for a 12-inch AC/DC song, but you don't hear about them, do you? And I would actually be interested to know how many of these poster sleeves were actually hung up on people's walls. So that is today's question. Did you have any poster sleeve records, and did you hang them up on your wall? Please let me know in the comment section below. This record does have a tasty fact with it. It actually outperformed the original release of Running Free in the charts, this one reaching number 19 in the UK. But that was not the last time it was beaten in the charts, as in 1990 another live version of this was released along with Run to the Hills Live, and it reached number 9 in the UK. Very tasty. Well, there you go. My entire Iron Maiden music collection has been absorbed by your eyes. I hope you learned something new, even if you're a die-hard Iron Maiden fan. Or maybe I've inspired you to continue or start collecting one of the most iconic and best heavy metal acts of all time. Just one of many, many great things that come when you subscribe to the Hive. That would be very nice if you subscribed. Thank you guys for watching. As always, it's been a pleasure for me. And I hope so for you too. Please like, subscribe for more Hive content, and hopefully I will see you again in the next one. Bye bye!